here, I'm Lauren, and in today's video I'll be demonstrating how to color a galaxy sky using Carinta Ash Neocolor II water-soluble crayons and Castle Arts pencils, although you can use any brand of pencils to do. You could also use Inktense or any water-soluble medium like watercolor pencils or even regular watercolor paint instead of the Neocolor IIs. Okay, I'll start by showing you some completed pages using this technique. The first one is in Creative Haven Owls by Marjorie Sarnat, and it's this astronomy owl page. This page was done using Derwent Inktense, but the technique is the same regardless of what medium you use. Right, then I have a page from Coloring Heaven Dreamtime Special with artwork by Hannah Carlson, and it's this page. This page is done using watercolor paints. Right? And then I have a page in A Court of Thorns and Roses coloring book by Sarah J. Maas, but the artist for this page I think is Tomislav Tomic, perhaps. And the page is this one. Okay, this one is also done using Inktense, and it was early on in my coloring journey, so it's not as good as I'm capable of doing now. Last but not least, we have a page in The Night Voyage. I actually have a couple of pages. One moment. Okay, so I have this one. This one's more like a cloudy galaxy sky, but it's the same technique. And then I have, this page, which is a work in progress. So this is the technique that I'm going to show because this is using Neocolor IIs, and this one is also Neocolor IIs. Let's move on to the page that we're going to work with today, and it is in Mythomorphia by Kerby Rosanes, and it is this double Pegasus page. So we have the moon in the middle, we have these clouds, and we have this area in the center where we're going to have the galaxy sky. So the galaxy sky is going to be around the moon and in this area and up here and here, and we're also going to start the clouds. We're going to put the base layer for the clouds. The clouds are not going to be the galaxy, but we're still going to use the same colors to at least put down this base layer. Okay, so I also want to show you the inspiration photo that we're going to be using. I always recommend going to Pinterest and finding some inspiration photos. So this is the one that we're going to try to recreate. Now, I want to note that this is just a guide. Okay, we're not going to create exactly this background. We're going to just be using some of the colors that we see here and perhaps try and incorporate some of the elements like the moon and the bright star and the galaxy over here and of course the clouds. But we are not going to get exactly the same effect. Close, but not exact. Okay, let's talk about the materials that we're going to be using. As I said, we are going to use Carinta Ash Neocolor II water-soluble crayons. And the colors that we'll be using are pink, purple, violet purple, violet, blue, turquoise blue, Prussian blue, and black. Let me just get the black. It's on the next tray. Second, and black. Okay. Let's put this on the side. So you can use any pencils, Prismacolors, Color Softs, Brute Fooners, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that the colors you choose match the shades from the Neocolor II. So we're going to be using a white and a black. We're also going to be using a pink, which for me is 82. Two different shades of purpley pinks. So it's 30 and 89. And a turquoise blue, 101, a darker purple, 38, and two shades of sort of like a Prussian blue. So it's 44 and 42. Okay, we're also going to be using gel pens. So I'm going to be using the Langwao P600B in white, an acrylic pen from Archistro, or you can also use a Posca. If you want, you can also use acrylic paint. I just want to note that I'm a bit of a control freak, and I prefer to put my own dots in rather than, leave it to chance with paint. But you can always splatter with paint as well. It has the same effect. Right, so now that we have seen our inspiration and seen our materials, we're going to actually start creating the galaxy sky. Okay, so again, here is our inspiration photo, and I can see that around this moon we have some dark blue colors, and dark blue up here in the corner, and dark blue a little bit into the moon here, and so we've got pinks as well and purples. Now I want to also just warn you that to begin with, it's going to look ugly. That's okay. All right, every single page goes through an ugly duckly phase, and so don't worry that it looks ugly. As we work it and as we continue layering colors, it will start to look better. And another thing I want to say is that I work with Neocolor IIs, I work from light to dark. So we're going to put the light colors in first and then move up and put the dark colors. Okay, so I'm going to start here with this area with our light blue color. Okay, so we're going to try and recreate it. As I said, it's not going to be exact, and I also like to keep my reference picture next to me so that I can keep referring back to it. All right, so let's actually make it a bit bigger so we can see what we've got here. Okay, so we're going to start with the turquoise blue. I also want a page to rest my hand on. All right. Now I see that this blue actually goes into the moon, but I'm not going to do that. Do I want to do that already? Yes, okay, let's do that a little bit as well. Okay, light pressure. Oh, I also need to put a page under this. Okay, 1 second. Yes, always put a protective page under. Okay, so you can just color over these shapes that Kerby has given us there. We will put them in. right now, but I promise that once we blend and put pencil on top and the white acrylic, it will look gorgeous. We are going to blend with the water brush now. You can even use a regular water brush and a cup of water. Either will work. Also keep in mind that we're going to, as we put the water down, the color is going to blossom and bloom and mix together. And once it's dry, it's going to look lighter than it does now, and it will also look lighter than when we put the water down. So that's a few things to keep in mind. I have a water brush with water. I have a cloth to dab on, and we're also going to use our finger. Now, if you don't want to use your finger, that's okay. You can use a tissue to rub, whatever you prefer. We always start from the light colors and make sure that you dab your brush off onto the cloth when you move between colors. Colors that are similar, like for example the light blue and the Prussian blue, you don't have to dab your brush off as much and try and get the colors to blend smoothly, okay? If you don't get them to blend smoothly, that's also okay, because when we put the pencil, it will help with the blending as well, all right? So just, take your time, go slowly, and enjoy it. This process is one of my favorites. Okay, so I'm gonna... Okay, so I've done all of that area and I want it to dry, okay, before I do anything more to it, because I don't want to saturate the paper with water. Okay, so it's better to do it in sections. inspiration picture. In fact, let's take a look at our inspiration picture and you can see what I'm talking about. So here on the inspiration picture, you can see parts where the colors have blended together and created other colors, like here and here and here. And so with the Neocolor IIs blending like this, you can get that effect as well. Made a good dent in it, and it still needs quite a bit of work. I'm going to complete the other side and wait for it all to dry, and then I'll be back for the next step. Okay, so as you can see, our page is now completely dry, and once the Neocolor II is dry, it dries much lighter than when you first lay it down and activate it with water. So what we're going to do now is take pencils and shade on top of the Neocolor II, which will deepen the colors. One thing to keep in mind, that now that we're going to be shading, it's important to keep the highlights and the shadow areas. So the shadow areas we're going to make darker, then we're going to have mid-tone areas, but we're going to try to keep our highlights so that we get the glow of a galaxy sky. In addition, you can use any brand of pencil. It does not have to be the pencil brand that I use. Just make sure that the colors that you choose match the colors of the Neocolor IIs that you've laid down. The pencils that I'll be using are Derwent Color Soft, and I have chosen colors that match the Neocolor IIs. So for example, we have for the blues, we have blue C330, baby blue C340, which will match this light blue, indigo C300, and Prussian blue C310 to match the darker blue. Then we have some pinks. So it's pink lavender C210 and pink C190. We have some purples. So we have a purple C250 and deep fuchsia, which is a pinky purple, so it will merge with the other pinks. As I said, deep fuchsia C140. We have black and white, black C650 and white C720. I also have a gel pen in white and a acrylic paint marker and an eraser. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to start with the blue. Let me just get a page to put under this and a page to rest my hand on. Right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do this side of the page on camera, and I'm going to talk through some of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to speed up the process so that you can speed it up or slow it down to your heart's content as I go along. Okay, so we're going to start with the moon, and we're going to take the baby blue C340, and we are just going to put this on top of the blue. Make sure to leave highlight areas. So I think I'm going to leave a highlight where Kerby has given us some indications. Okay. And you use circular motions and you just fill it in. Okay. Keep in mind you've already got the Neocolor II down, so it forms a good base. Okay, now here we see we have the purple has merged in with the blue, so we'll just go over lightly. Okay, and then we've got the pink, so we're going to get the pink. Okay, our lightest pink, which is pink. I'm sure, yeah. And we go over to the pink, and we put it down, and you can merge it into the blue a little bit, and this mauve will this lilac-y mauve color will come through. Okay, this purple, yeah. I think I might need a darker purple at some point. You can also mix and match your pencil brands. Okay, now I'm going slowly because I still want to keep these colors merging together. And you just follow the lines that the Neocolor II has given you. Okay. This is going to be a nebula, so we make sure we keep our highlight. I'm going to go with Prussian blue, keeping a highlight there. Just deepening up the colors. And the base of Neocolor II is going to give us some nice shades with this pencil on top. So for example, here where we've got the purple underneath and we're putting the Prussian blue on top, we're getting this nice deep purple color. Okay, and here we've got the purple again, so I'm going back to purple. Yeah, purple, and just putting it in. Okay, leaving my highlight. Okay. Switching out to the fuchsia and the pink lavender together, okay, to blend out very lightly this pink area. Okay. You can even go into the purple and the blue. Pink and blue is going to give you a lighter purplish color. So don't be afraid to, mix the colors together. It creates seamless transitions when you do that, and new colors, which is what a nebula and a galaxy sky is, really. Okay, so now I'm just gonna color the rest, and I'm gonna speed up the process, and yeah, feel free to slow me down, speed me up, whatever suits. have this section sort of done, and what I want to do is blend some of these colors even more together. Now for this, you have a couple of options. You can take a blending pencil. So I have a Prismacolor blender. Just let me clean it off from my previous project. Okay. Right, and then you can blend the pencil, okay, from light to dark. Okay, that's one option to get a smoother result. Okay, another option is to use an odorless mineral spirit like Gamsol, and I will show you what I use. Okay, so I use the Winsor & Newton solvent for oil color, but I'm obviously using it on pencils, that's fine. I put a little bit in a container, okay, and make sure you're in a well-ventilated room. And then I just apply it with a paintbrush, and I make sure to have a paper towel to wipe off as well. Okay, so I always open the little container, dip in my brush, wipe it off, close the container, okay, and then I apply it, okay, again, light to dark. When this dries, you can also put pencil on top again, okay, but it really blends out the pencil very nicely. Just make sure that you have sufficient pencil layer before you do this, okay? I apologize if you can hear screaming children in the background. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I live near a school and it's recess. Okay, it blends out makes the colors merge very smoothly together. Okay, I avoid the highlight area because I don't want my highlight to get messed up. Also, don't be afraid to smudge it with your finger. Nothing quite blends as nicely as a finger. Okay. Okay. Just 1 second. With the rest of the page. Okay, I've turned the page so I can work on this section now. You work on one section at a time. to wipe off your pencils after putting solvent because the solvent will eat away at the pencil. All right, so always once you've used your pencil on top of the solvent, make sure to wipe it off. Okay. Oh, yes, I like that. Okay, let's leave that alone for a while, let it all dry, and move on to a different section. Okay, let's talk a little bit about these clouds. Okay, so the clouds are going to be fluffy and white, but they're going to have the tint of the other colors in them. So let me show you what I mean. Let's take this pink cloud over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the two colors that will make up that cloud. Oops. So for example, the pink lavender, the dark fuchsia, and the really, really light pink, which is pink. Okay, and we're just going to put in the shadow. Okay, shadow color. Okay, the mid-tone. So blend it out with the mid-tone. Here you're not going to really need solvent because these are smaller areas. Okay, and then the lightest tone. And then white. Where's my white? Here it is. White. Okay, and then you're going to take your gel pen. Okay, and you're going to go over just make sure it's flowing. Clean off my nib. Okay. And that'll make your fluffy cloud. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to carry on with all of my clouds and speed up the video. So we have finished all of the right side of the page, so you can see the difference. This is the page with the Derwent Colorsoft and the white acrylic pen already put in, and then the side is just the Neocolor IIs, which I will do off camera. The final stage is to put in the white dots that represent sky. Now, a lot of people take white acrylic paint and they dilute it a little bit and then they flick it on with a brush, and I have found that never works out for me. The paint just goes everywhere. And so I do it the longer way, and of course I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I do it slowly, and I just put them in using an acrylic pen, and the Language gel pen. Basically, you just put them in randomly. Try to be random. If you don't use the acrylic paint method with the flicking, where it's automatically random, then you need to be random yourself. So that's what I try to do. I just put dots wherever, and you can also use an inspiration picture that you find on Pinterest and see where they put the dots and try and put the dots in a similar place. So let's do that. Right, so this is the inspiration photo that I'm using, and there are dots at random places all over the place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and follow this picture and put in dots randomly. Some of them are white, some of them are pink. I'm not sure if I'm going to put pink ones. We'll see. We'll just have it next to me while I put in the dots. Okay, I am just going to start this side. Okay, give it a shake. See that there are 3 big ones and a whole bunch of little ones. That is our cloudy galaxy sky. We have a Neocolor II base. We have Derwent Color soft pencils in matching shades on top. And then it is white Artistro paint marker for the clouds and for the dots. So thank you so much for joining me as I did this. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you subscribed. I hope to see you all soon for more tutorials and tips and tricks and color alongs. Bye for now.